Now, is it fair that you could be left homeless and penniless if you split up from your partner, even if you've been together for 20 years? Well, one of the most senior judges in England and Wales doesn't think so, and it's calling for the law to be changed. Nicholas Wall says unmarried couples should have a right to a share of the family home and money if their relationship ends. Let's get the views of relationship expert Jenny Trent-Hughes and the family lawyer Mark Freedman. Welcome, both of you. Now, Mark, could you just give us establish for us the law at the moment? There is no protection for unmarried couples.
I think the biggest myth in English law is this concept of the common law wife or the common law husband. It doesn't exist. You can be living with someone for 10, 20, 30 years. There's no protection. There's minor protection if you have children, but only as long as you've got the children or the children are children. And if you have a property in your name, then there are some protections there, but it's expensive.
So as a lawyer, you would like something put in place?
Oh, absolutely. The amount of people I've seen over the last 20 years who've been in a relationship, a committed relationship, and have absolutely no rights at the end of it or in the middle of it. And that causes so much misery in this country, unnecessarily, I believe.
So, Jenny, it's a cause of misery for people who've been in that situation and they come out of a relationship and they have no protection?
Yes, I absolutely do agree with that, and I understand where he's coming from and where the judge is coming from. But I feel that a set of laws to protect people who come together and make a life already exists, and it's called marriage.
But you have to be married to get that protection.
Exactly, and I think that is what you should do. I think that if you're deciding that you're going to set up house with somebody and build a life with somebody, then that's what marriage is about. Marriage actually was not originally about romance and, you know, falling in love. It actually originally started because of politics and property, to develop a framework how to dissemble your property if the need arose.
So, Mark, Jenny is saying that, you know, if you want that kind of security, it's available, but you get married.
Two things. First of all, family law should be there to protect all families, not just married families. 10% of all households in the UK are unmarried, but in committed relationships. 50% are in married relationships. The numbers are going the other way. The unmarried households are going up and the married households are going down. The laws of the land have to reflect what's going on in society, and society sees unmarried couples, households rising, and we need to do something about it.
Jenny, the logic of what you're saying would seem to be that people who are together should think about it very, very, if you like, financially minded. They should just say, well, we have to get married, might not believe in it, might not think it's worthwhile, maybe no point in it, but for that financial safety, the safety that the law will provide us. That's not the right reason to get married, is it?
Well, yes and no, because one of the things that actually bothers me about this whole issue, for me this isn't a question about is marriage a good thing, is marriage not a good thing. It's actually about the intrusion of laws into too many areas of our life. And I feel that if we're not careful in this country, we're going to go the way of America, where they have laws about everything, and then you have a culture where everyone's suing everybody, everybody's always in court, and lawyers rule the land. And nothing personal, but I think that we need to start taking personal responsibility for our actions.
So you think
if you choose that path, then you need to sort yourself so that you're going to be able to handle it. And if you can't, then choose a different path.
It's not always a choice. You always have couples that say, well, we've decided not to get married. And that's fine, but do you always believe that both of them have the same choice? Often in those sorts of situations, one party would really like to get married and the other party wouldn't like to get married. I think people get married for positive reasons, not negative reasons. Reasons of commitment, reasons, religion, social reasons. People refuse to get married or say they don't want to get married, maybe for economic reasons. And if we narrow the differences between the two types of relationship, then maybe there'll be more marriage, not less.
Jenny, did I understand you right, that you're thinking that if you bring in new laws for those people who are not married, it would lead to a lot more litigation, a lot more court time?
Well, first of all, it's going to cost a lot of money to develop the laws, it's going to cost a lot of money to monitor the laws, and a framework already exists. It would, to me, it would be like coming up with a different type of driver's license. We have a driver's license. It works. Why would we come up with then a driver's card instead of a driver's license when we already have a license? So we already have marriage. And if you don't want to get married for romantic reasons or, you know, religious reasons, then you go to a registry office, just the two of you get married and you don't tell anybody at all.
I guess, Mark, you would say that Jenny needs to meet some of the people who you've dealt with.
But I have.
Well, Jenny tells me she has, and we've been discussing this in the green room.
Absolutely. And you know, the problem that I have is that people need to start taking more responsibility for their life choices instead of always looking for somebody else to sort out the mess that they've made.
Let me give you, Mark, a very brief last thought.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
in terms of Jenny and I were just very quickly discussing this, and she says, tough, you know, you have to go out there and take responsibility for yourself. And I'm sorry, the amount of people I've seen over the years, they need some protection from these sorts of issues.
Mark, Jenny, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Time now, 8:56.